mate?
he is.
You alright?
This is a little bit posh, isn't it? Look at this, eh? It's got all the gear, haven't you? Got all that gear, but
All the gear.
has he got an idea? So basically, I just want I want like 4 swing lessons just to work, something to work on, because I feel like if I'm going to practice, I want to, rather than just hitting golf balls, I want to practice with a purpose.
Yeah. Do you have any, do you work with stats at all?
I always check my spin rates, occasionally, and I know my swing path generally, because I do use the quad at Church. I wouldn't say I was fully into it. I've got shot scope, but I just use it for yardage, nothing else. I don't look at how many greens I hit or how many putts or anything like that. Always been a bit of a field player.
A little bit more old school, a good idea of where your weaknesses and strengths lie, just through feel, basically.
Yeah, through feel.
Let's just start with swing, and if we get to a point where we feel like we want to work on bunkers or short game or putting or whatever, we can have a look at that as well. But
yeah, I'm probably 165, I'd say normally. That's when I come in with about 120. Some people doing it.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny.
How can I do that? No, your computer's wrong. That's always good, isn't it? I look further on the range.
I hear that a lot, yeah. Is this computer accurate? Yeah. 100% accurate.
Yeah, it's you, mate, unfortunately.
I see some shots, mate.
What kind of green? What hold it, Jamesy? Last miss.
Oh. Have you got a miss at the moment?
No, not really. It can be left and right because
you're pretty neutral, aren't you?
Yeah, so I do sometimes swing it up to and sometimes into that. It's never.
I remember when you were going through a phase where you hit a big juicy cut. Yeah.
I was getting more and more across. That's why I just tried to get more
neutral.
Back towards neutral, because I was getting 4 or 5 degrees across it. Which
a bit of a slippery slope, isn't it? Yeah.
But I generally miss it with a 7-iron. A bad shot would be 10 yards right or 10 yards left. It wouldn't be a lot in it. Yeah. I'd still probably hit the green. That would be generally a bad one.
League you
$3 in there.
100% greens in reg so far. Do you generally just swing the golf club then? You don't have any?
No, not really. I did try to shorten it last year. I felt like I was sort of over swinging it, so I just tried to shorten it. When I went for the fitting, basically I wasn't hitting down enough with irons, so they thought that I was they're not attacking down into it. I feel like my feet were hurting, so I wasn't. It doesn't hurt now. So
oh yeah,
I'm trying to hit down
the same pressure almost.
So yeah, so I was always flipping it off the top to not to have any pain.
Yeah.
But oh, James has got it.
There you go.
I think I might hold it, James. I think I might hold it. Oh, I missed it again. Can you sort that out? Will I be a foot further right?
6-3 good spin.
One more?
Yeah, let's do one more. That's filthy.
I'm done.
Yeah, your angle of attack's a fraction shallower than that last one, wasn't? That last one was spot on.
So I could even hit down more than what I'm hitting now.
Yeah, you
so
could
do
do
like I'm digging into your mat.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do it if I was to be picky, but there's none there that are shallow. All relative to your swing speed. So you're swinging, your average 7-iron swing speed is 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So the more that goes up, the more you can start to swing down on the golf ball and attack it. So if you get someone like Cam Champ, he's going to be swinging he can easily swing 8-9 down on the 7-iron and get away with it. Yeah. If you were swinging it at 60 miles an hour, obviously you're probably going to swing fairly neutral. So when I get juniors, seniors and stuff like that in, and they're swinging it slower, if they're 1 degree down, that's fine, because it is what it is. They're dealing with the speed that they've got, if that makes sense.
Yeah. More
so
speed, the more I could hit down at it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for your speed, for your 7-iron speed, that's quite a lot of speed. That's, to be honest with you, that's not miles away from like tour average.
Oh, hello.
So yeah, I would say averaging 4 down. You could probably be another degree and a half down to be in like a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Path's really neutral, like you say. So if, judging by your ball flight then, you've hit 10 shots, all 10 on the green.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really say like your path's causing you any problem there. Sometimes I find when people get too neutral like this, sometimes they find it difficult to visualise what their stock shot is.
Yeah.
So I find like...
which is probably the case for me.
Yeah,
I don't really have a left or right one now. I can hit both depending on the day or...
Yeah, I find like a lot of really good players, they'll dial in like say 2 degrees into out or 2 degrees out to in or something like that. And they'll have like a shot that always starts, they won't hit like a lot of line balls, but they'll always have a shot that like starts left of target, starts right of target, and they know which way it's going, like their club face control's dialed in with that path. Obviously for you, like if you look, they look scattered, like the numbers there, but the relationship between the path and the face.
Yeah.
So you've got like, you can see, can't you, your path so like neutral, some that are in to out, some that are out to in, against a face which is like sometimes open, sometimes closed. Mainly open here, I would say.
Yeah.
But obviously you're going to see some that go, you know, slightly left of target with a draw, some that go slightly right of target with a fade. Because you haven't got like a consistent bias, if that makes sense. Yeah. Also, the one other thing that jumps out at me, which I don't know if you ever looked at, is your lie angles a little bit toe down. Have you ever looked at
these are so these are standard. I've got standard clubs, standard lies now. But I always had them custom fit before, but I went standard this time because I was going to work on my swing. But is that quite alarming? It's quite a lot, isn't it?
I know some good players who have got numbers like that.
Yeah.
So like that.
You know another one now.
There you go. I know another one. There will be some form of manipulation there. Yeah. As you know, if you're delivering a golf club at impact, which is averaging 5 degrees toe down, that would technically mean that your ball's going to start a little bit right. For those of you who want a little visual, I'm sure lots of people have seen these sorts of things before. Yeah, but basically, if you've got that launch facing towards the target, and then you start to go toe down, but don't actually change the angle of the club, so like face the club right with the club face, that is starting to aim off to the right a little bit. Yeah. It's not going to have obviously near as much of an impact as changing the face, but it will have a slight impact. So probably for a player of your calibre, you're going to just be making adjustments.
Do you think I should probably look at moving it maybe 2 degrees just to get that number down into the sort of 2s rather than in 3s and 4s and a couple in, there's 2 and 5 there.
If I was fitting you, basically I'd always base it on ball flight. So the shots that you've hit there, technically not, you could work with that. But what I would definitely test you in, if I was fitting you, would be putting you upright and seeing if you start missing them left. If you started missing them left and you couldn't stop it, I would put you back into a standard position.
My previous set of sub-70s were 2 degrees upright.
Did you have miss left? Or?
I probably hit them similar to these, to be honest. It wasn't.
So it's just less work. I would just say subconsciously for a player like yourself who just hit 10 balls, hit 10 greens from 170. Yeah. You're making it more work for yourself. Yeah. But subconsciously you're able to make it up. You're delivering the golf club in a way, that club face there, you're delivering the golf club in a way that will kind of help manufacture against the fact that your toes
might be worth experimenting a bit with myself just to move them maybe a degree and then just see what impact that has, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it might be another video. Bending my clubs and
well, to be fair,
they're easy to bend anyway.
Are they forged? Yeah, I can bend one now and we can try it and see if it makes a difference and bend it back, but
it's all right. I'll leave it for
yeah, that's fine. And your strike, another little talking point which we'll talk about is
heel and low.
A little bit heel bias. Yeah. How often do you get to use quad?
Not often, maybe once every 6 weeks.
That's fine. So obviously with us having lessons and you being able to obviously use hawk in here, and if you're able to get hold of quad every now and then when you're practicing, it'd be helpful just to check strike. Then again, you don't need, as you know, you don't need to have quad or hawk to be able to check strike. You can spray the face. There's lots of other ways that you can experiment around with where your where your bias is. Your strike bias.
I have in the past aimed the ball into the toe region because I feel like I do strike. I know I strike heel, so by aiming at the heel, got more chance. By aiming at the toe, got more chance of hitting nearer the middle.
Correct. Yeah. I was just going to give a little visual for your viewers. Yeah. like a little idea on how to change strike. So I get this quite commonly. So your average strike pattern there, you see is 12mm heel. So that's like that's your sweet spot basically. Yeah. Slightly low on the face. You get that with driver, you're probably going to lose a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
As well.
That's my spinny one that goes nowhere.
Spinny low heel. Yeah, it's probably quite a trusty one. But obviously with irons, like you've not had any here, but you could, if this bias gets a little out of hand, get the odd shank that comes out as well. Which could sometimes happen. So depending on the lie as well and other factors. But what I would say is to train against the bias and to kind of zero yourself in. I call it like strike calibration. A good way to do it is work on like a premise where you're imagining. Anyone can do this as well. It's really, really good. Anyone can do this as long as you know what your strike bias is. If you know your strike bias is slightly heely, you won't need this many T's. No. This is a nice visual. Lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. Imagine it like a motorway, right? Okay. And for someone who's heel bias, you're generally your golf club coming into impact is like veering into lane 3. You fight fire with fire, basically. What you're looking to do is for that type of person like yourself, you're looking to try and feel like you're aiming to hit more lane 1. Yeah. Whereas obviously people bang their heads against a brick wall when they keep hitting shanks or keep hitting out of the heel when they're trying to hit lane 2 all the time, but they're always ended up in lane 3. They don't change anything. They carry on trying to hit lane 2, where obviously their intentions. Sometimes they don't necessarily need to make a technical swing change. Definitely for you, it won't be a technical swing change. It'll be a change of intention. So like you said, you tend to set up slightly out the toe. Yeah. I tend to find rather than making like a static change, so feeling like you're setting up more at the toe, I tend to find it more effective if people have the intention of dynamically striking through the ball more towards lane 1 if you're trying to make it more toe biased. So I sometimes do this where I basically get people getting that feel without a ball first. Then, say for you, for example, I'll get you hitting some shots feeling like you're going to hit that yellow tee, and straight away you'll start to find that you start to go more towards the toe bias.
So I'm basically one fault with another, aren't I? But aiming at the toe and trying to hit the toe. I'm not actually doing anything about the actual cause of it. Yeah, exactly. Whereas with that, I'm changing where I'm actually coming into the ball slightly, aren't I? Yeah. Only fractionally, and I wouldn't be probably hitting that towards the lane 1, whatever you called it. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't, but if I got that number down slightly, it's going to move my strike more into the centre, isn't it? And then give me better results, more consistency and more distance. Correct. I'll be hitting the sweet spot rather than hitting heel, which there's not many sweet spots in the heel of a golf club.
No, exactly. Like you say, it's just changing intention. I think a lot of people, I get a lot of people come in there, they'll say, right, I've tried everything, I'm hitting shanks, tried moving away from the golf ball. Those sorts of things, they're static moves that tend to have like a negative impact on people's game because they've moved away into a really uncomfortable position, just try and hit the ball. Yeah. Most people are going to react just like if I hit a football to your right foot, you'll react by putting your right foot out. And
oh, look at that! I do think I actually got that.
So you're reacting to what's happening. They're going to react to the fact that they're miles away from the golf ball. It is a reactional sport in that sense. You are reacting to where you've started out. So if you start in a funky position, obviously that's not going to help. Whereas if you start in a good position and then you redirect your thought into your intention of trying to hit a certain spot, that can actually have a much...
Yeah, that makes absolute sense, doesn't it? Yeah. That's a couple of things to work on then.
Like 3 or 4 balls trying to hit that yellow tee.
Okay. Do you want to actually hit the yellow tee or not?
Yeah, try to. Yeah, try to. Genuinely... You'll probably hit some real slappy toe ones, but that's changing your intention, changing your strike.
Okay. So you want me coming from in here?
Yeah, just literally set up to the ball like you would usually, but then imagine rather than looking at the ball, your aim point is to hit that yellow tee. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So intention on hitting that tee. Yeah.
We would just put the tee down and hit it.
There we go. Oh, another little 3-foot alert. Tap in. So there's a great example. So every single shot so far today you've hit at the heel. Yeah. Averaging 12mm heel. Yeah. That shot there, although your intention was to hit the tee, if you have a look at that strike there, you've actually zeroed out. So you've hit that direction of hitting the toe. Yeah. Actually has ended up making your intention of hitting the toe has actually ended up making you hit out the middle. So that's the idea.
That's the perfect.
That's the idea.
I like the fact that there's not, because I'm not that technical, there's not too much to work on. I feel that's achievable, that I could work on that literally with a little small tee.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's brilliant. Superb.
Top man.
So next time I come back, I'm going to be
Zeroed in.
Thanks, Jamesy.
Cheers, buddy.
No one believed I was good. Look, it should get better as the lesson goes on.
8'3".
So a couple of things to work on. Used to be a former coach myself, so I coached for sort of 5-6 years as a PJ professional, and me personally, I like the fact there's only a couple of things to work on. You sort of work to a plan. So Jamesy being a really good coach and knowing my needs and how I am as a person, get happy with them, get comfortable with those changes. It's then I can then progress to the next change or anything that he sees as an issue. And for me, that I like the fact he's trying to change my strike location. I know that it's been an issue long term. I've been a heel striker. You've seen that on vlogs. I've hit the occasional shanks on vlogs as well, and in tournaments, which can kill me. So by just trying to use that sort of motorway analogy, which again, visually, I prefer visual rather than being too technical and changing much in my swing, but just sort of manipulating my own golf swing to try and get it into lane 1. You saw the result. It changed where I'd actually made contact with the ball on the club face, and long term that is going to help me out. Now this is where the hard work starts. So now I'm going to put in, I think I've got 4 or 5 weeks before the next lesson, so I want to go back to him with, rather than sort of being in the hill, I want to try and get that strike location more centered, so that then we can look at maybe changing a couple of things in my swing. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just sort of a part of the lesson. I've been there for sort of nearly an hour in the end. So I hope you enjoyed that little snapshot of it. Remember to please subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below. Have you been having lessons regularly? Do you have lessons regularly? And are you thinking about doing a course of lessons? Decide as well that I'm probably going to continue these lessons and try and regularly have, I've got 4 booked in. I've paid for a course of 4. Once I finish the 4, I'm going to have a word with Jamesy to see if I can continue them and maybe keep it up at, I'm doing 1 a month. Maybe in the summer even go a little bit more regularly, maybe once every 10 days. So I should have more time to practice and to work on and implement the changes that he suggests. Thanks for watching. That's episode 1 of the Destination Scratch series.